Tiger test positive for coronavirus in US. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us on The World at noon. Libyan government forces have shot down a cargo plane operated by rebel forces near the capital, Tripoli. Fighting has in recent days intensified near the capital, which is the seat of Libya's internationally recognized government. Rebel forces under the command of a general named Khalifa Haftar have been fighting in an offensive to take over Tripoli and unseat the government since April last year, and they have remained bogged down on the city's outskirts. Last month, Haftar claimed full adherence to a humanitarian truce that focused on efforts to combat the coronavirus outbreak in the African country, but his forces continue violating the ceasefire and bombing various locations in the capital. Residents in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire have destroyed a coronavirus testing center over Fez, to pose a contagion risk for the people living nearby. Reports indicate that the building, which was still under construction, was demolished by people shouting, "We don't want it." An official from the health ministry, however, said the site was never meant for the treatment of patients, but only for testing. Judging by official figures, the country has so far not seen a widespread outbreak, as just over 260 infections and 3 deaths have been confirmed. Abidjan has already been placed under quarantine, and a nationwide overnight curfew is enforced, while schools, churches, and all non-essential shops have been closed. Police in South Africa have arrested a bride and groom, a priest, and 40 guests who defied the rules of the country's strict coronavirus lockdown to hold a wedding in KwaZulu-Natal province. This is contained in a video footage aired showing the bride in the back of the police car wearing her wedding dress complete with train. Report has it that the whole group was taken to a police station near Richards Bay. They are to be charged in court today. South Africa, which has 1,655 confirmed cases of coronavirus, including 11 deaths, is now in the second week of one of the world's strictest lockdowns. This is The World at Noon, coming to you from Osun State Broadcasting Corporation. Ilea Wiyeoke Bale Oshobo. Now our mid-news message. Coronavirus is a friend to nobody. Stay at home to stay safe. The U.S. Department of Agriculture has announced that the tiger at the Bronx Zoo in the New York City tested positive for coronavirus, while 6 other big cats are exhibiting symptoms consistent with the illness. It was learned that the Malayan tiger named Nadia likely contracted the coronavirus from an infected but unknown asymptomatic zookeeper. Chief veterinarian at the Bronx Zoo, Mr. Paul Carl, was quoted as saying that it was the first time that a wild animal has gotten sick from COVID-19 from a person, adding that the zoo has been closed to visitors since the 16th of last month. He noted that the zoo has the 7 cats under veterinary care and expect them to recover, though the Wildlife Conservation Society, the non-profit that runs the Bronx Zoo, cautioned in a news release that it is unknown how the disease might progress in animals. According to Mr. Kali, after developing a dry cough in late March, the 4-year-old Malayan tiger Nadia was tested for the virus on April 2nd. UK's Housing Secretary, Mr. Robert Jenrick, has said Prime Minister Boris Johnson is still very much in charge of the government, despite spending the night in hospital with coronavirus. The Prime Minister was taken to a London hospital last night with persistent symptoms, including a temperature, for a series of routine tests. It is said to be a precautionary step taken on the advice of his doctor. The 55-year-old Mr. Johnson tested positive for coronavirus 10 days ago. Mr. Jenrick said Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab will today chair coronavirus meeting in his place. Iran's foreign ministry says more than 30 countries, as well as a number